I told you their asset company so strong, it feels like the hidden final boss of money. A business that doesn't just play the game, it changes the rules. You almost never see its ads, yet it stands behind nearly every big cash move on Earth. Ever wonder who really pulls the strings on Wall Street? Who the government calls when the whole economy starts crashing? Or who quietly owns a slice of almost every giant company you know? Today, we're diving into that shadow empire with a hand in everything. The firm that acts less like a business and more like the server's top admin. Let's talk about BlackRock and the man guiding it all, Larry Fink. Is this the most overpowered player in finance? Or just a huge myth? Stick around because the truth might blow your mind. Yo, what's good, the thinking dollar fam? We're talking about BlackRock, the biggest investment company on the planet, and the guy who started it, Larry Fink. But is BlackRock really the powerful monster people say it is? Or is it just overhyped? Let's break it down. So who is Larry Fink? He was born in 1952 in Los Angeles. No magic money powers at birth. His dad sold shoes, and his mom taught English in school. Pretty normal start, right? But Larry worked hard from the beginning, stacking up knowledge like XP points. He went to UCLA in the 70s, first for political science. But then he switched to business, because that's where the cash cheat code seemed to be. After getting his MBA, Larry thought, time to level up. He jumped into the biggest money arena in the world, Wall Street in New York. In 1976, he joined a big-name firm called First Boston. This place was like a legendary clan of investment pros. Larry started trading something called mortgage-backed securities. Basically, he took a bunch of home loans, packed them together, and sold them like rare cards. He was insanely good at it. So good that he became the youngest managing director in the company's history. Dude was speedrunning his career. But then, at 34, after nearly a decade of winning, he made a huge mistake. One bad trade cost the company $100 million. That's like losing your entire inventory of rare gear in one fight. Boom. Game over. He got kicked out faster than a cheater in a tournament. Crazy part, people at work called him Big Swinging Dale. Yep, for real. Because he was so bold and took huge risks. Later, he admitted that the $100 MS wasn't even the worst part. The real problem? He didn't fully understand where all the money came from. Back then, Wall Street in the 80s was like a wild server with no mods. Total madness. But here's where his comeback begins. Instead of quitting in rage, Larry learned from his mistakes. He realized he needed better planning and control. So he created his own company, BlackRock, with a crew of 8 top traders. They got $5 million from a guy named Stephen Schwartzman, who later started Blackstone. Yep, not super original with names, huh? Within 1 year, BlackRock was already managing over $1 billion. That's like going from beginner mode to having all the coolest skins overnight. But Larry had a game-breaking secret weapon. While others were guessing and taking random tips, probably while half asleep, Larry used data. He bought hundreds of computers, big deal in the 90s. He linked them all up to watch everything happening in the market. This system was called Aladdin, like the guy with the magic lamp. It could check prices, read trends, and spot risks way better than any human. It was like having wall hacks in a money game. He could see stuff no one else even knew was there. While the rest were playing checkers, Larry was deep into 5D chess. Aladdin was so strong that during the 2008 financial crash, the US government came calling. Banks were falling, insurance companies were panicking, and they called Larry Fink for help. It was like when the server's crashing and only one person can save it. Larry was that guy. By 2010, Larry launched another beast, iShares. These are ETFs, exchange-traded funds. Think of them like starter bundles for investing. Instead of picking single stocks, you buy one ETF that covers hundreds. Like buying a game bundle with tons of goodies in one click. Super simple. These iShares blew up fast. If you peek at most people's investment accounts, they probably own some. In Europe, 1 out of every 2 ETFs traded comes from BlackRock. They're destroying the competition. So how do ETFs even work? Let's say you want to invest in big German companies. A DAX ETF takes your money and buys pieces of all companies in the DAX index. If DAX goes up 5%, your money grows 5% too. Easy, right? There are some fees, but way less than hiring a money expert. Now this is where things start getting spooky. Because BlackRock runs so many ETFs, they actually own small pieces of almost every big company out there. In Germany, they own 3% to 8% of nearly all top firms, like Allianz, Bayer, and E.ON. No wonder people call them the shadow power, like the invisible boss of global finance. But the real magic is still Aladdin. Today, it helps manage around 10% of all the money in the world. That's $20 trillion. Imagine having admin access to that much cash. And BlackRock's reach doesn't stop at business. They've got strong political links too. In Germany, a major politician, Friedrich Merz, ran BlackRock Germany from 2016 to 2020. This stuff happens in every country. People switch between top government jobs and huge finance firms. It's like having buddies who are both game devs and players. But even the biggest players mess up. In 2018, police raided BlackRock's Munich office. Why? They were part of a huge tax scam called Cum-Ex that cost billions in lost tax money. Even the big dogs get caught using cheats sometimes. Now for the biggest question, does BlackRock actually control the world? Not really. They handle huge money, but they don't own most of it. They just manage it for others. They can't just sell your stuff whenever they feel like it. If BlackRock went broke tomorrow, the money would still belong to the investors. Also, even though ETFs are huge, they're only one part of the whole market. Hedge funds manage just as much money worldwide. And regular people like us, we're small players compared to pension funds and insurance giants. What about Larry Fink? He's been married for 40 years and keeps a low profile. He only speaks out when it really matters. He supports the Democrats. And if Hillary Clinton had beaten Trump, many believe he'd be Secretary of the Treasury. That would have made him almost the final boss of America's economy. That's it for today, the Thinking Dollar Fam. If you thought this story about the world's biggest financial player was wild, smash that subscribe button and stay tuned. You won't believe what we're covering next.